Alright, hello. Um, Something was really kind of hit me, and I was wanting to speak on it. All these movies they've done, all the hero movies and everything, especially the Marvel series movies. I mean, I watched them all, I liked them. But there were specific reasons in these things, just like in Hancock. And they said you used to they call us gods, now they call us superheroes. They were trying to get people to worship and these ancient gods. Thor was an ancient god. Odin was his father. Um, his I don't remember his mother's name exactly, but it was a Trinity God process, just like back in the first Trinity God after the flood was Nimrod. His wife I seem to keep forgetting the mothers and their son. Oh yeah, his wife was I forgot it. But she said that she was impregnated by the Ray's son. He died. Was killed by his uncle. He died and supposedly ascended to the sun. She said she was impregnated by his rays, and that her son that was born, Tammuz, became the son of God. Because Nimrod was the first sun god. He was also the first god of the sea by the same name. That's why you see the trident symbol. The That is a trident symbol. Regardless of what they tell you, does not mean I love you. It is a trident symbol. It's an evil remark, an evil mark. I mean, just like that does not mean live long and prosper. It is a trident symbol from ancient times. They're trying to get people into believing a lot of things are right, that are wrong, and that following these ancient gods, and children love this stuff. I mean, they idolize it, and idolatry is wrong to regardless. And we teach our kids that this stuff's right. We really gotta watch what our kids are watching and what they're putting first, because we should always put Hawa first, our mother and father in heaven. And except for Proverbs, our mother has been pretty much written out of the book. And Hawa has pretty much been written out of the book, except for when you look at Strong's I am means Haya, Hawa. And you look into the original tetragrammaton before they changed it to Iwa, Iwa, Iya, Iya, which means Lord in Hebrew. Actually, it means Lord in Yiddish. Hebrew and Yiddish are two different, completely different languages. Um, but it said Haya or Hawa, Hyh. You look up Yahweh, it says the imperfective means it's not perfect. It's actually a third person translation, and Yahweh is not in a way. I mean, Yahweh, Wahe is a third person perspective of the word, but is a completely different word, where am means Heya. But it says third person perspective, third imperfective translation of God of the former Heya or Hawa. Both are there on there. You look in etymology, it will tell you this. You look in, of course, Wikipedia is a terrible spot, but you go on your phone, look it up. Is what does am mean in Hebrew, and it will tell you Iya in highlighted letters, and then it will say Heya in lowercase letters. And these trinities are something that they've carried over quite a bit, because in a lot of people think that Christianity is based off Egyptian religion, and to some parts of it is. And I'll get into that in a minute. But in Egyptian, Osiris was the sun god. Isis was the mother goddess, and Horus was the sun god. If you ever see John Paul II bowing to crossing himself and bowing to the Black Virgin Mary, is a picture of Isis holding Horus, and they say this is the Black Mary and the Black Jesus. But it was just like Jupiter is Peter, and that every supposed saint that they have in the Vatican has that ring behind their head. It is not a halo, it is a rising sun. They just made these people somebody else. Like Jesus carrying the world on his back is actually Atlas holding the world on his back. Jesus holding the sun is actually, I believe, Hercules holding the sun in his hand. I mean, these are holding the world in his hand with the sun above his back. These are all sun idols. And when you look into Christianity, it had the same kind of thing. God, this is how the Catholics did it from the beginning. God, the Virgin Mary, Jesus Christ. The God, the Mother Goddess, and the Son of God. And then the Protestants changed it from, they realized there was a definite problem with the Mother Goddess, so they made it God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, saying that JC had been there since the beginning. And people use Proverbs 8, Christians use Proverbs 8 as proof of Jesus being there since the beginning. But if you read Proverbs 8, it starts out talking about a woman. You read the rest of Proverbs, at least up to chapter 10, I know for sure, it is talking about a woman. It is talking about our mother. And when it says in Proverbs 1, verse 8, to follow the laws of thy father and the commandments of thy mother, it means your mother and father in heaven. That's the reason in the Ten Commandments it says to honor thy mother and father, and you'll be blessed with long life. It's talking about our mother and father in heaven, not these people that we were born to, not our moms and dads, but our mother and father. And those are the only ones that are supposed to be mother and father, are the ones that we were that created us in the wombs of our own mothers, our own moms. They knew us since the beginning, every single one of us. But we choose whose children we want to be. There are two fathers. There is Hawa, and there is Satan by any name you want to call him by. Whether it's God or Beelzebub or Baal or Molech or Osiris or Odin or JC or whatever you want to call it. These are all the other Father. Both say, if you love me, you will follow my commandments. New Testament, everything is true. You can find other places in the Bible, and everything else is a lie. And this is absolutely provable. I mean, you look at anything. If it's true, you can find it somewhere else, and it'll show you in a reference Bible where it's shown prior in the New Testament, in the Old Testament. Just like it makes absolutely no sense for them to say that JC would be a son that would be born, and they would call him Emmanuel, which that prophecy had nothing to do with the Messiah in a way. But his name wasn't Emmanuel. It was Yahshua, Washua, if you go by the original, or JC, or Jesus Christo. Jesus Christo. So either way, any way you go about it, it was a lie. So why did they put it in Matthew if it didn't make sense? I mean, it says in the prophecies that the Isaiah 11 actually says it'll be from the root of Jesse. That the Messiah will be from the root of Jesse. But when you look at the bloodline, Mary didn't come from the root of David or Jesse, which was David's dad, if you're not familiar. Joseph did. But Joseph wasn't his dad. Joseph was his stepdad. So the blood, he didn't come from that blood. And the most important things of what has not been done, because to be in a new covenant, it says that there will be two things: peace on earth, and that we will all know religion in one tongue. There will be no discussion about it. And if there was no discussion about it, A, I wouldn't be doing this channel because we all know the truth. B, we would there would not be 4,300 religions in the world, 43,000 different kinds of Christianity alone. And you would not have people saying Jesus is white or that Jesus is anything, because we know better. Everybody. But there is so much confusion in religion, it's unreal. That is because he didn't do anything. He didn't change anything. He made it worse. Because that confusion has lost so many souls, it's unreal. I guarantee if you're living by Hawa's law, you will live a long time. If you're living good, this is scientifically proven. If you're living by his laws, even if you don't know his name, if you're living by his laws, you will be healthy and you will live a long time. If you know his name, you worship him, and you do everything you can to follow every law to the T, I believe you'll live forever. I believe there are people that are living now that have been around since the beginning of time. And that is a debatable amount of time, but I believe there are people around. But they're trying to poison us with all these different things that people get in as um, in their head as things to idolize, like Odin and Thor and Incredible Hulk and Black Panther, and I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Black Knight and Superman. I mean, it's all to get you to worship and idolize these things, just like basketball and football is get you to idolize some people. Idolatry does not just have to be images of wood and metal and stone, even though in the past they normally were. Idolatry is anything that you put first in your life above your Godhead, including money. If money is your waking, the first thing you think of and the last thing you think of, then that is your God. If you are an atheist, then your God is science. Everybody has a God. I don't care how you look at it. Everybody has a God. But you gotta make sure your God is the right one. And Hawa, absolutely, undebatably, mother and father are the one. Period. Um, and just keep that in mind. Um, Again, as always, Hala Hawa, and may you be blessed.